Count Dracula, king of the classic movie monsters. He lives by night, feeds on the blood of the innocent, and can transform at will into a turkey. Wait, no, I read that wrong. He transforms into a bat. He's from Turkey. We found our next case of Deja View. In 1931, Bela Lugosi's suave looks, widow's peak, and Hungarian accent cemented the way we imagine Dracula. But surprisingly, the classic Universal film bears only a passing resemblance to Bram Stoker's original novel. A faithful adaptation wouldn't be produced for another 22 years, and it came, of all places, from Turkey. The strangest thing is, it isn't even based on Dracula. Stoker's Dracula wouldn't be published in Turkish until its 100th anniversary in 1998. Drakula İstanbul'da is instead adapted from the 1928 Turkish novel Kazaklı Voyvoda, the Impaling Warlord. But in fact, the book is actually a pirated version of Dracula. Translated, abridged, and localized by author Ali Reza Seyfi, Kazaklı Voyvoda was passed off as a Turkish original. Seyfi transports the setting from London to modern Istanbul, changes the names, and infuses the story with numerous passages of Turkish nationalism. 25 years later, when homegrown genre movies were beginning to find an audience, Kazaklı Voyvoda was an ideal choice for the screen. Of course, Drakula İstanbul'da isn't the first movie based on Dracula, or even the first bootleg adaptation, but it does lay claim to many other notable firsts. It's the first film to show off Dracula's canine fangs, to depict the iconic sequence of Dracula crawling headfirst down his castle wall, and to make a direct connection between Dracula and Turkey's historical enemy, Vlad Tepes, Vlad the Impaler. From the first act, it's refreshingly faithful to the source material. This Jonathan Harker, here called Azmi, is the first version to find himself truly Dracula's prisoner, confined to the castle amid halls of locked doors. In spite of warnings, he sneaks, as in the book, into a secret wing of the building and falls asleep, where one of Dracula's brides attempts to feed on him. He's forced to write post-dated letters to his fiancée to maintain the illusion he's well, and upon discovering Dracula's true nature, Azmi tries in vain to destroy him with a shovel. Indeed, the entire film has a level of fidelity rarely seen in any adaptation of Dracula. Of course, it's not without changes. Gone is the final journey to Transylvania in pursuit of Dracula. The madman Renfield has also been excised, but in his place is Dracula's hunchback servant. And Mina is now a dancer, offering the perfect excuse for sexy dance numbers, in addition to a suggestive bubble bath sequence. Concessions also had to be made for Turkey's Islamic culture, where crucifixes and sacramental bread would be unlikely vampire deterrents. Only the staff at Harker's Hotel in Bistrica makes the sign of the cross at the mention of Dracula, perhaps because the majority of Romania is Orthodox Christian. But here, the sole weapon against the undead is garlic. However, these changes are nothing compared with Universal's Dracula film. Adapted from the American version of the stage play, it was an ideal project for the impoverished film studio in the grip of the Great Depression. To suit the stage and a meager budget, Dracula had been heavily rewritten to utilize only a few sets. Dracula himself was watered down into the kind of gentleman you'd invite into your drawing room. Very little of the original novel was reinstated in the motion picture, and the result is more inspired by the book than based on it. While Universal's budget for Dracula was quite low by 1930s Hollywood standards, the budget for Drakula İstanbul'da was substantial, reportedly 30 to 50% higher than its Turkish contemporaries. The filmmakers were therefore able to construct rather lavish sets for all of the castle interiors, the cemetery, and the theater. The low-key lighting casts hard shadows, producing a contrasty film noir look that further raises the production values. These elements were not enough to impress Turkish critics at the time, however. It was deemed not scary enough to be a good film, but negative critical reviews don't always stand the test of time. Drakula İstanbul'da skillfully captures the essence of Stoker's novel while tweaking the story for a contemporary Turkish audience. With its solid production design and numerous firsts, it's absolutely essential viewing for any Dracula fan. Turkey's film industry was in its infancy when Drakula İstanbul'da was made, and as a result, the filmmakers often had to get creative to solve problems. When the graveyard scene called for fog and fog machines were unobtainable, their solution was a simple one: Dozens of crew members lay on the ground, mouths full of cigarettes, furiously puffing smoke into the shot. It got the job done, and the crew got a smoke break. Thanks so much for watching, and so long, suckers.